Bell versus Itawamba County School Board. This case revolves around an angry Mississippi high school student who took to social media to express his outrage over fellow students' reports of teacher misconduct. In 2011, Taylor Bell, an 18-year-old student at Itawamba Agricultural High School, created and posted a rap recording on his publicly accessible YouTube and Facebook accounts. The bulk of the song, P.S. Coaches, the Truth Needs to Be Told, specifically criticized two athletic coaches at the school for allegedly engaging in improper sexual relations with female students. The song contained 4 references to violent acts that would be carried out against the coaches, presumably by Bell. Upon discovering the song, school officials called a hearing to discipline Taylor. Interestingly, they did not investigate the coaches or talk to the alleged victims. The Itawamba County School Board later upheld the administrative's decision to suspend Bell and transfer him to an alternative school for the remainder of the grading period. Taylor alleged that these disciplinary measures violated his First Amendment right to free speech and therefore sued the school's superintendent and principal. In March 2012, the court sided with the school board, concluding that the rap recording was a form of intimidation and harassment and contained possible threats to school employees. The court maintained that the disciplinary measures placed on Bell were legally reasonable. Taylor tried to appeal. On appeal, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit applied the Supreme Court's 1969 case of Tinker v. Des Moines Independent Community School District to Bell's case. Tinker dealt with on-campus speech in the form of wearing black armbands to protest the Vietnam War. Tinker states that if a student's conduct causes or could reasonably be foreseen to cause a substantial disruption or invasion to the rights of others, it can be subject to discipline without violating the First Amendment's protections of free speech. Since Tinker really dealt with on-campus speech, most courts that try to apply this standard to off-campus, online misconduct have also required that the speech have a sufficient connection to school to justify discipline. The Fifth Court applied these standards and found that Bell's song violated school policies against threats, harassment, and intimidation. Additionally, it was intentionally directed at the school community, creating a reasonable risk of substantial disruption. Subsequently, the Fifth Circuit upheld the school's decision to suspend Bell. Today, the attempt to separate speech in school and outside of school is particularly difficult, and it's almost impossible to draw a clear distinction between the two. Technological developments have allowed for anything that is said on the internet to be easily accessible during school hours. Because of this, many have argued that the Supreme Court should use Bell's case as an opportunity to address the confusion among lower courts on the issue of when, how, and under what circumstances schools can discipline students for off-campus internet speech. The Tinker case is often viewed as too vague and outdated to sufficiently protect either students or administrators when it comes to off-campus speech. The decision in Bell v. Itawamba County School Board determined that a student's off-campus speech and expression can be restricted by school administrators and does not infringe upon the right of freedom of speech established by the First Amendment. Currently, this has huge implications on students' free expression because so much of their expression occurs online. Boundaries are increasingly blurred between off-campus speech and school officials' responsibility to protect the school community. For now, school administrators can discipline a student's off-campus online misconduct when it violates a school rule, has a sufficient connection to the school environment, and causes or could be foreseen to cause a substantial disruption to the school.